Welcome to Friday Night Hangouts with Marlowe House Presents. I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I'm hungry.
Already? You've got snacks.
I know, isn't it wonderful?
No, not really, because they're over on the other side. Wait, why are you
Wait.
over on the other side of the table? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
There's another face on our screen.
When did that get there?
So,
I don't like change, Andrew.
y'all are killing me.
Well, that's what we do on Friday nights. We
Yep.
hang out and we see
And
if we can see how far we can push Andrew.
Right. So, this evening, as promised, we have Keith Kappel here to run us through a little bit of Genesys. Keith, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience? And
Sure. Hi, everybody. I am Keith Kappel, and I'm a freelance writer for Fantasy Flight Games. I've worked on their Star Wars line pretty extensively, and as well as Android, which is what we're running tonight for Genesys.
Yay!
good times. So, I don't know. Do we want to just jump in?
Well, do we want to talk about what we were going to talk about real quick about YouTube?
I was going to do that at the end.
Okay. It's a surprise.
There's an announcement at the end of this episode. Stick around.
You gotta hook them. I get
That's
it.
right.
Such advanced streaming happening here.
Yes. This is our marketing. This is our marketing plan.
Or something.
Or something.
So am I in charge already? We're just gonna go right into it?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we usually spend
I
an hour
figure
doing
it's gonna be
BS, but
yeah.
we don't have time for that.
Right, because this is a convention event.
Yes.
Right. It's like a scheduled for 4 hours or whatever, but with this smaller group, it's probably gonna go faster.
It'll probably take
Plus,
us
I have
5.
a feeling you guys will skip all the combats, right?
Possible.
So
You never
So
know.
I love how they set this one up because when I ran it at Gen Con last year, it opens with like a frickin' page and a half of read aloud text, which, I lose my voice, as you guys well know. My voice is gone by like Friday night. So having to scream this at people Saturday and Sunday was always fun. But you guys are getting me pre-Gen Con now, so I'm fresh. So I'm going to launch into
Yay.
this here.
No crud.
No crud yet. Yes.
Yeah, no
yes. So we
crud.
get the benefit of gaming as a group, and we don't have to get too close to one another, which is good because you never know with Scott.
He's a carrier. Courier. He's a courier.
He's-
there it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
Carrier courier. Patient
Okay,
zero.
here we go. New Angeles. It's the biggest, dirtiest, richest, poorest, most advanced, and most dangerous city amongst the worlds of Earth, Mars, and Luna. That's the moon. Home to 500 million people and counting. It's a landscape of gleaming skyscrapers and arcologies hundreds of stories tall, and dark, moldering undercity slums that never see daylight. And in the center of it all rises the reason for all this fame and fortune, the Beanstalk. The New Angeles space elevator carries a steady stream of humanity to the stars and brings back a constant flow of helium-3 to feed Earth's hungry fusion reactors. It's a world of powerful interests, hungry megacorps, and dangerous games of politics and treason. But it's also a world of average people, such as yourselves, struggling to get by and stay afloat. If you're being honest, you and your friends count yourselves amongst the latter. Just a bunch of regular people trying to keep it together in the shadow of the Beanstalk. I like how they worked the title in there. Now I get another page of read aloud text immediately. At the base of the huge mountain, the Volcan de Cayambe, you'll have to excuse my Portuguese and Spanish, because you guys are in like Ecuador or whatever. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah.
That serves
did,
as the
but-
seat of the Beanstalk. Okay. The vast Base de Cayambe district spreads out in a squalid mess. Base de Cayambe is a lot like any port town throughout history. Kilometers of warehouses, flop houses, brothels, and stim dens crowd the condo habs and bodegas that house and feed those too poor to live anywhere else. However, Base de Cayambe may be squalid, smelly, and mostly lawless, but it's still home. Tonight, like most Fridays, it's a Friday. It's built into the adventure. You've all met up at Rise. La Raz, we're going to call it. A small dive bar right in the heart of the district. Buried beneath Beanpod Transit Arterial 40, which is like the local train, La Raz sits right at plaza level. That means that it's wedged into the side of a star scraper with 100 progressively higher class levels stretching above it, and another 100 progressively worse stories below it. Plaza level is the artificial street level of New Angeles, a series of pedestrian squares, slidewalks, elevated streets, and storefronts suspended 50 to 100 stories above the true actual ground level. Everything below you is the Undercity, where life goes from mostly lawless to complete gang-run anarchy. La Raz isn't all that much better, however. As you step in off the trash-strewn street, that's hard to say, you find yourself in a dark hole of a bar, decorated with flickering holos of the Beanstalk as seen from space. It's also crowded, smelly, and every few minutes another bean pod thumps through the arterial overhead and causes the whole bar to shake. But as you get near the bar, you see the rest of your friends waiting for you. Jace is behind the bar tonight, and she sets a pint in front of you as you pull up a stool. So you guys are all in a bar, a real scuzzy sort of mid-level bar in the city. There is a transit tube right above you. The station's probably within a few blocks. And you're on this kind of street that's suspended, several hundred meters above the ground. So it's this crazy sort of dirty, really hot, because you're literally like on the equator, sort of messy city that grew way too fast to keep up with the growing population. So it's kind of a hot mess below you. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to introduce their player character, so everybody sort of knows who's what. Why don't we start with Andrew?
All right, so I'm Eli. I'm a bioroid, which means I'm mostly a robot. He's a former police officer or police property, law enforcement robot. And I was injured badly in the line of duty, and instead of bothering to fix me, they just set me to be disassembled and decommissioned, and my partner thought that was a lot of bullcrap and misfiled paperwork intentionally and got me out of there. So I've got, actually, instead of having like original factory parts, a lot of my parts are cobbled together from where I've been repaired. My chassis got a lot of old damage. But I've become a private investigator since I've left the police force, and he sort of embraced that like whole noir aspect a little bit too hard, probably. And he almost looks like a robot in the middle of dress up. So he's got the fedora and the battered trench coat and rumpled suit over his bioroid chassis.
That's why insurances total out vehicles that are in really bad accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
my
Hyundai
wore a fedora, and it was done.
Sorry, Keith,
But,
what was that?
Somebody just said it's very Nick Valentine, and it is.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Nick Valentine
also,
was my inspiration.
Oh, fair enough. So something to consider, and a reason to wear that trench coat and hat, is that clones and bioroids need to be owned. And granted, like, they're everywhere, so one sort of walking around doesn't draw that much attention. But one that's sort of falling apart and clearly like living independently can draw unwanted attention.
Right. And he's not
sorts of people.
Yeah, he's not really falling apart so much as that he's just got parts that have been, they're not the original police parts. It's sort of like, you have a Volkswagen, it's gotten into an accident, you replace the door, color might not match.
So you're like one of the auction police vehicles.
Kind of. But yeah, I figure that's part of why I stay close to my friends.
Yeah, and like in these crappy parts of town, like on the plaza level and below, it's never really going to be an issue. But like if you went over to NAPD or something, it might become one.
Right.
Or if you went over to like House Bioroid, arcology or something, like you would look like, oh, that's our property that we need to destroy, because the Floyd models aren't in super common service yet either. It was kind of like a trial run, right?
Right.
So of course they wanted to destroy you. You have like trade secrets. So that makes perfect sense. Monica, why don't you tell us about your character?
Okay, my character's name is Dr. Penelope Weiss, and she's a GMod academic, specifically a street doc. She, once upon a time, worked for one of the larger corporations in through academia, and her advisor basically stole her research and published it under his name, and then conveniently had her fired because she totaled his car in front of the office building where they worked. But because of her talents, she was able to. She was approached by a gang mobster boss sort of person.
Do you know which gang?
No, I don't, because I haven't read the book. But you can pick one.
Let's pick. I'm going to give you two choices.
Okay.
It almost doesn't matter.
Okay.
So you could be with four who are a little more like Yakuza-ish, if I'm remembering correctly, or Los Scorpiones, which, as you can imagine, have a little bit more Latino flavor.
Well, I actually speak a little bit of Spanish, so Los Scorpiones.
Okay, so you're
Scorpiones, you say?
Los Scorpiones. You're under the thumb of Los Scorpiones, which is fine.
Yeah, I wasn't certain
We didn't
either
know.
what groups were going to be pertinent to the storyline of the evening, so
Right. So
no big deal.
figured some of that would be answered now.
but what ended up happening was they offered to help hide the fact that she had threatened the advisor and damaged his vehicle, and helped set her up with a clinic on the streets for the low sum of always helping the people who need bullets taken out of them and things like that.
Sure.
So she does, a little bit
and a future favor in the
and
future.
a future favor in the future.
Can you explain to people what the GMod is? You said that. Maybe some people aren't sure.
Well, that's a really good question. As I understand it, the GMods are people who have genetically modified themselves. So they are human. They are born human, but they've been altered genetically rather than having modification like cyborgs or other kind of tech put in them. They're actually genetically altered through, I assume, gene therapy.
It's transhumanism.
Yeah, there you go.
Big time.
So
I mean, it all is, right?
Right.
The cybernetic stuff is part of that too.
Right. And then specifically the Gmod that Penny has is appearance related, and I have a really hard time reading these tiny little print really far away.
Yeah, I didn't know it was going to print so
small. Oh, I see. Oh, my advisor's name was Dr. Whitlock. Andrew actually gave him a name. Yay!
Backstory.
I know, right? Well, we had talked about it, but he wrote a bunch more.
While she's hawked.
Oh, you know what? Is the Trimath a different?
No, that's just
the Trimath is a different group, but we can go with Trimath if that's what you really want.
That's what he had written down. I just want to make sure I change it out.
It said that was the there's a talent for that.
Oh,
with the favor.
Yeah,
the favor talent or whatever.
It says you owe an underworld family, or you.
Oh yeah,
so
it's
right.
Definitely change.
So be low Scorpio.
Right.
Okay.
But they have it. I guess you can change the flavor on it, but that's how they have it listed.
I mean, otherwise I could just change what's in the adventure.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. No, perfectly fine. We just put it down because that's how it was written in the book.
So just to give you. Just to give you a little bit more background on what GMods are, I mean, you're 100% correct, of course. But just to give you a sense of the scope, they run the gamut from like designer genes for like babies to make them pretty or smart or strong or fast. Like that sort of stuff goes on, which isn't really necessarily outwardly detectable right away, right? That's been done to somebody. But also it's like this wild and crazy stuff where like if you want to be like one of these people from the new Cats trailer, if you want to look like that, like GMods can get you there. If you want to be like an honest to God werewolf, Gmods can get you there. Or have like wings, or just like hair that's feathers, or almost any sort of like weird. If you want a turtle shell, you want to look like a Ninja Turtle, they can do that for you. So there's some like wild stuff, and not all necessarily has like a great mechanical application. Some of it is purely cosmetic. There's this wild sort of like under community of people who are into these like crazy in your face Gmods that make them look like part animal or really just not human at all. And they have a club on the moon called Wild Side, I think it is, or it's at the top of the Beanstalk maybe. But you get some of these people around some of the crazy areas of where you guys are at, base de Kiambe. So you probably have a few clients that request some weird stuff like that from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine. But also to make ends meet, sure, you're pulling bullets out of people and flechettes and stuff like that, I'm sure.
Right. So the so her modifications are actually not quite so over the top. She was looking at this. She was initially looking for to climb the corporate ladder and the academic ladder. So she's has a heightened sense of appearance, or a heightened appearance that makes her classically attractive to everybody, to the best of her ability. Oh no, we've lost Keith.
Oh, it was just for a second. I'm still here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I was standing up. I didn't want you guys to have like crotch cam for a second there. So
We appreciate that.
But yeah, so you have a Gmod. I just needed to turn that lamp on. It started getting dark.
Oh, okay.
That's all. That was all. Nothing major. But okay, and then we have Scott. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Riley Kent, known on the street as Cash. I'm a cyborg courier. I do what I do to make sure my sister stays safe. She stays educated. Got her going to those private schools because money means stability and safety. For myself, I'm pretty reckless.
What, you know?
Me? What? No. Fairly reckless. Safety is not a big issue for me. Where I get all bent out of shape is if anyone starts talking smack about my sister or trying to threaten her at all.
So you're a courier. There's this great big thing in the Android setting called the SneakerNet courier. So it turns out that the hackers in this system, they're called like runners, and they're in like this crazy lawnmower man sort of like virtual reality space to do their hacking, which is fun and very 80s cyberpunk. But be that as it may, it turns out any data that you put on a server somewhere, a runner's probably going to get to it. So if you have some like real secret stuff, you air gap it the whole time. This means that the only way to move stuff is to hire a courier. And it's called the SneakerNet because obviously they walk data around the city. So I would imagine you get a lot of SneakerNet jobs in addition to maybe you move all sorts of other things.
Like organs.
Sure. I'm sure the Gmod doctor over here has used your services in the past, right?
That's kind of how we tied ourselves together as a group.
Okay, so you guys are catching up, telling each other your backstories. Clearly, that's how you meet every time on Friday, I'm sure.
Well, that's because we drank so much we forgot.
It's a very normal thing to do. So, as you're sitting at the bar, someone taps your shoulder, and we should decide who this you is. Does anybody want to be tapped on the shoulder?
Sure, I love GM intrusions. Oh wait, that's not this guy. That's not this game. Sure, it can be me though.
As you sit at the bar, someone taps your shoulder.
Okay.
You spin around to see a thin, unassuming man in a discount suit squinting at you. He seems a bit nervous, but smiles and thrusts his hand at yours. Hey there, he says. You remember me, right? Simon Leander. Fancy meeting you here. As it turns out, you do remember Simon Leander. In fact, many of you do. Simon Leander has run into several of the PCs in the course of his career. He's known Eli. Sorry, I had to look at your character sheet there. He's known Eli because you have locked him up before, back when you were still a cop, for a parole violation. You know he is a thief with the 14K gang. So, you know, you've definitely locked him up for stealing stuff or violating parole. He was in jail for stealing stuff. And he knows the medical person because he has stolen stuff for you. So you guys have kind of worked together before, my GMod doctor. And then he knows the courier because you were working for him, or you were delivering something to him, or from him maybe, whatever. He was giving you stolen stuff to give to somebody else. And during that moment, he got shot. And you kind of helped him out and got him patched up. And, you know, everything worked out fine. So the only one who really has like a negative sort of relationship with this guy would be Eli. But like, this guy doesn't hold a grudge that sort of locked him up for violating his parole a couple years back. No big deal. He's over it.
It's not like you're a cop anymore.
Yeah.
But this guy's kind of always, bad stuff almost always happens every time he's around, clearly. So, he's, sorry, let me catch up here. So he gets really, really squirrely, and he taps you on the shoulder again, Monica. And I'm going to need a vigilance check from you.
All right.
All right.
So let me see what's on my
I
sheet.
could find what it has to be against here. So let's talk about
Okay,
how
so
the
it's my
mechanics
will.
work here. So, Andrew, I know you've played a few times. I know some of you have played a little bit.
Actually,
But
we've all
basically-
played a little, but yeah.
But for your listeners, perhaps, there are 6 main different kinds of dice. There are
You've,
dice which are good dice,
you've got the wrong.
yellows, greens, and blues.
Why are you showing it to the back of Scott's camera?
Because
Our camera's over here.
Of course I have it.
This.
And then we have these dice, the purples, reds, and blacks, which are bad dice that can only do bad things. So anytime you're going to roll something, you're going to look at your character sheet. You're going to find the skill you want to use to do the thing. In this case, Monica, we're looking for what? Vigilance?
Willpower. Yeah, so it's vigilance and willpower. Which,
So you're going to get 2 numbers. One comes from the skill itself, which is vigilance. Your vigilance is what?
0. I am not at all
0.
vigilant. I don't know what kind
That's
of doctor
okay.
doesn't have vigilance, but
No, I don't know how important. Perception would probably be better for the doctor. But so you have no vigilance ranks in the skill. And it's tied to, as you said, to willpower. What's your willpower score?
no, 1. I think we've
1.
already
Oh, this-
established I have a really bad temper.
This is fantastic. So, so the 2 numbers in this case are 1 and 0. And when you assemble a check normally, of these 2 numbers, you take the larger one, which in this case is 1, and that's how many green dice you get. And the smaller number, in this case, is 0. How many of those greens turn yellow? So in this case, you will get 1 green die, which is not very good. And you're now the difficulty. The bad
I was going to
dice,
say, are you adding any difficulty dice to me?
Yes, I am. And unfortunately for you, it is 3 reds.
Whoa,
Oh,
man!
Sorry.
Wow, I thought I liked this guy. This is going to be bad. Is that it?
That is, you know what? Let's talk about the
Do you
situation.
want
Okay.
more?
The other great
No,
thing
I want
about this
other.
game-
I want other good dice. Well, okay, so I've already been sitting here drinking. So
Yeah, but be
That
careful
sounds
with
like
that.
a black die you can add.
I said be careful with that.
I know, but I was going to say I'm feeling pretty good because I'm hanging out with my friends, so I'm a little more
Right.
forgiving.
So I'd say you take a black die for the drinking for sure. I'd also say it's a noisy bar. That's going to give you another black die. And then let's talk about good things. What could help you? You have 2 other
We're sitting
friends
at the
there.
bar.
They-
There's a mirror,
Yeah, we're sitting at the
Sure.
bar. Okay.
so
give you
expand her point of view.
I'll give you a boost for the crusty, mirror that probably hasn't been cleaned since it was installed.
Okay.
Lick it.
I'm not licking the mirror.
It's behind the bar. Don't go behind the bar. We'll have to do a whole different set of checks.
Yes.
It'll get violent so fast. Yeah, I'll give you a blue for the mirror. I'll give you a blue because you have a couple friends there that might notice something happening. What else can you think of? I would say this guy, like I said, things always seem to go bad when he's around.
So it puts us on edge.
For Mr. Leander's presence alone might put you on edge. I'll give you a blue for that as well.
Okay.
And one of the cool things about this system is that you could kind of negotiate with the GM for blue dice or adding black dice to friends if that you want to grief or whatever. So yeah, I would say roll all that stuff unless you really want to flip a destiny point early on or a story. You can. It'll upgrade the check. It'll turn your green one into a yellow one.
Yes, it would.
Well, okay.
We can do that.
We can do that.
I mean,
Then, you can flip that, and it becomes mine. I grow more powerful.
Yes.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. I did get a triumph.
Outstanding.
And then this is a despair, isn't it? Or no?
No.
What is that? That's a.
Oh.
No, it's
No,
not. It's
You're
not.
on the wrong die for despair.
I'm on the wrong die, and then I have.
All right, so there.
It's been a while since I've.
All right, hold on.
Okay.
So
Andrew, as you and Monica cancel those, I'll just explain how it works.
Those
So-
cancel these,
So basically,
don't
you
they?
roll all the dice
These
after
two
the
cancel.
GM helps you assemble the pool.
And then these two
and,
cancel, right?
There's a bunch of different
And then I end up
symbols
with
that are
two
paired.
failures.
It's like success and
No try.
failure,
Okay.
an advantage and threat, and they cancel out. So whatever you rolled more of, that's the result.
Right.
A triumph, however, stays no matter what.
right.
Okay, so I got a
so
triumph.
She got a triumph, which is uncanceled in any way, shape, or form,
And then two
Wonderful.
and then
failures.
2 threat.
Oh, two threat. I'm sorry.
So no successes.
No,
Mm.
one. Well,
Remember, the triumph also counts as a success.
Okay, so
right.
one.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I said.
one
It was
triumph.
uncanceled at all. So.
Oh well, then
So it's
she
a
does have
success.
success.
Right, one
Mhm.
success and one success, a triumph, and 2 threat.
Yes.
That's an amazing roll given the steep odds against succeeding.
I was really impressed. These dice don't yet know me very well, so they don't shit on me very often.
This is also maybe the least important check of the whole game, so it kind of doesn't matter.
Yay.
So you notice that Simon just dropped something in your pocket for sure.
Okay.
With the threat, I'm going to say you don't know what, and before you could even really think to look, you notice that Simon sort of turns his head, and his eyes go really, really big and wide, and you can see there is a Los Scorpiones hit team sort of moving into the bar at the door, and he seems extremely distressed by this.
Me too.
Yes, you might. I mean, you do owe them a favor. So,
Just-
Has anybody
just a
else
little
noticed?
one.
I was going to
I
say,
mean-
has anybody else noticed them at this point? Can I tell?
Does anybody else notice what?
The Los Scorpiones.
Los Scorpiones coming in.
Yeah, like it's pretty obvious, I'll say,
Okay.
with that triumph, that the whole party is well aware that there are Los Scorpiones at the door, and Mr. Leander is freaked out by them. So clearly he probably stole something from them. All right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of his shtick. So what would you guys think you want to do here?
At this, and it's Friday night, so the bar's already pretty hopping.
Yeah, it's pretty crowded. Like, it's not even easy to move through the bar.
I know what
So
I
as
want
you guys
to.
are
I know
sort of
what I
thinking
want to
about this,
do, but I'm
Simon
going to
sort of
leave
has-
everybody else an opportunity to do their thing first.
So, I don't know that he's dropped something in your pocket,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I know that he's in deep. And I'm kind of curious as to where this is going to go.
Okay, so would you like
Um,
to try to keep an eye maybe on him, or
Well, what I'm thinking, I kind of want to. What do you guys think if I like grab him and act like he's done something to us?
Well, I know what I was going to do. I was going to throw my drink in his face and tell him I told him no and he needed to keep his hands to himself.
Well, no, because
You guys have the meanest ways of helping.
Well, I'm just thinking he's got a reputation. Play the reputation.
I'm the prettiest
But-
girl in the bar. Of course he's
but
hitting
yeah,
on me.
But yeah, in your case, they might take that as an excuse to go after him. But if
Well.
we can be like, yeah, we're going to go and rough him up outside, we might get a minute on it.
All right. Well, you go ahead and do that then.
Okay, so you're going to
Look,
attempt
my
to...
drink goes cold. I shall be very cross.
You can have mine. I'm not drinking it.
Beer is better at room temperature.
So you're going to attempt to rough up Simon Leander and drag him outside.
I look at him and I go with it, and then I'm actually going to slug him. But more
So
as
it's
like
okay for him to slug him, but not me? Okay. I see how it is.
and
You're
I'm
a
gonna,
doctor. You might hurt him.
I'm gonna call,
My hands are
I'm
registered,
gonna call him a
registered
thieving
weapons
little,
of death.
thieving little snot, and slug him and make like I'm
So
gonna
this-
drag him outside.
This
Like, I haven't-
definitely sounds like a deception check to me. It sounds like we're trying to put on a false performance for the Los Scorpiones hit team
It
here.
totally does, and sadly, this is not good for me.
I was going to say, do
But
you...
that's okay because that's part of the whole appeal here. Is he's a guy who doesn't, he kind of does things in that. He's watched too many movies.
Nobody can hear you. All right. So what would we be looking at for this?
So you're definitely going to Andrew's going to have to make a deception check.
Ooh, good luck with that.
All right, so I've got 2 green dice for that,
Wonderful.
and
Good.
because my cunning's a 2.
And
I
you have no ranks in deception.
Oh no!
What kind of android do you take him for?
I love that you guys are trying to make all the checks you have no ranks in. That's great. And you're trying to put one over on this Los Scorpiones hit team. There are 2 of them. So I'm going to say it would be just against 2 purple.
Okay, so I would like to go ahead and petition for a blue one on the basis that he's got a reputation that I'm playing towards.
Granted, for sure.
And that
Let's see.
any of my warnings to him might have gone missed in the smoke and darkness of the
Yes,
club.
but not only that, he came to us for help. So
Well,
he's
coming to us.
We
but
don't know
that's
that
not.
yet.
well, that's true. See, that's why I wanted to
He
hit
walked
him.
up, copped a feel, and
But I know, right? My boyfriend's going to take care of it for me.
All right, let's see the.
Phaser
You want
set
to
to
flip a
vibrate.
story point and upgrade or anything, or are you happy with what you got?
I am happy with what I've got.
Oh,
You know what?
my.
I'll flip and upgrade one just because I feel like we should raise the stakes here. Despair could be fun.
Okay,
So
that works.
yeah, flip one of mine and turn one of those purples red.
Perfect. Just lovely.
Well, that's what you get.
And I'm going to say if a despair comes up, you actually knock him out.
No despairs, but no successes.
Nothing very good.
I do have 1 failure and 1 threat, so this is really not good.
Fun. Okay.
For you.
So your clever ruse is fooling no one. Also, it's not that it doesn't fool anyone, it's just that the hit team doesn't care.
Fair.
Just don't care. They were sent there to get him, and they're going to get him. So I'm going to say that they come up to Leander, and you can see they have pistols on them, right? So they kind of flash their pistol. You know how guys like move the jacket so you can see it?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we need to talk to Mr. Leander outside. And he kind of tells you, like, it's fine, guys. It's okay. It's all right. And he goes outside with them. And they start headed towards the door. Do you guys want to Like follow him or sneak out there, or do you just want to not worry about it?
I want
now?
to put my hand in my pocket and find and feel to see what maybe he has put in there.
Sure, there's certainly time to do that once they're safely out the door, right?
So once they're heading towards the door, I'm gonna kind of move through and see what I can keep an eye on.
Okay. Let's start with what Monica finds in her pocket, which is a very Bilbo Baggins thing to do, I guess. So
let your pockets.
you reach in your pocket and you pull out a memory chip. You can't really tell much about it. It just looks, like a USB drive or whatever,
Uh-huh.
right?
All right.
But there is a memory chip in your pocket. I suppose almost everyone in this setting has something called a pad, which is like a personal assistant device or something like that.
I think
It's basically
everybody
like
does.
it's like a tablet or whatever.
Everybody has a
That's
cell
like
phone.
it's like holographic on your wrist or something like that. It's very futury and fancy, but it's connected to all the networks, and you could get all your media and do all your social media and do all that stuff all at the same time. Plus, it's like got some rudimentary AI and stuff in it. Now you could try plugging it in there, but like I said, it's connected to the network of
Well, I
everything.
definitely
So
don't want to do that now.
If there's something bad on there, that might not go well for you.
Yeah.
But you don't know. You don't know what's on there.
No, I put it back in a different pocket.
Okay. And do you want to inform your friends what just happened, or
Well,
it's your little secret?
I've kind of slid off.
he's moved off, so I do tell Cash. Leander slipped something to me. I imagine it's not going to go well for him outside.
What was it?
Memory chip. I don't know what's on it yet.
Oh, shit. Positive.
That's what. So I do. I hand it over to him. If anyone's going to have.
So even though I'm off right now, I'm just kind of slumming it in my tattered cargos and my lovely Hawaiian shirt.
Sure.
I imagine
With the dinosaurs on it.
I imagine I've got lovely little tiny pockets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lift up the collar a little bit and tuck the memory chip into the collar.
Oh, it's a fancy little collar pocket.
Yeah.
I like it. Absolutely. So the mem chip is safely tucked into your collar. So while you guys are sort of doing that, let's move to Andrew. Andrew, you're trying to sort of sneak around and see what you could see, right?
Yep. I'm not sneaking real hard. I'm just kind of heading up that way.
Okay.
I figured they're probably not worried about being seen, so.
Yeah, not overly. So they take them around the side of the bar into like an alley, a large hallway that provides access into the Star Scraper's interior. But it's deserted, trash-filled, and smelly as an alley, even though it's sort of an interior space. There, they immediately begin torturing him to try to find out where he stashed the chip. So as you sort of round the corner, you hear the sounds of struggle, cries of pain from Simon Leander. Oh, here we go. We got some read-aloud text. You're round the side of La Raz and find yourselves in a long and closed passageway filled with garbage bins and discarded trash, and lined with sealed doors that lead into the interior of the Star Scraper. About 10 meters away, Leander has been slammed up against the wall by a brute in a stained t-shirt and ripped pants. He's backed up by a few more toughs wearing aviator sunglasses and leather jackets. The brute turns slightly to face you. As you said, you're not sneaking too hard. And you can see he's holding Leander about 2 feet up with a massive powered gauntlet that envelops his arm all the way to the shoulder. Beat it, he growls.
I just kind of put my hand up, like, okay, and I beat it.
Beat it.
Sure.
Beat it.
That's totally fine.
I mean, this guy's, he's notorious for getting himself into trouble, and at this point, he is getting us into trouble because I imagine he is probably already done something to screw us over,
You think?
and it's going to get ugly. So,
Uh,
so I want to find out what exactly what exactly he might be doing to get us into trouble. I'm just going to walk away from.
So, Andrew, you turn around to walk away, and this is in the module, mind you.
He's obviously not taking credit for this part.
Mason Ruiz, the guy with the gauntlet, turns back to Leander and starts to crush his neck. Leander screams in pain, and then you hear him whimper, "They have it," while nodding toward you.
Of course he did. I knew
This-
he was going to do that.
So obviously this guy drops Simon Leander like a bad habit. And him and the 3 Los Scorpiones hit team members behind him all turn to you and say, on second thought, why don't you come here?
I'm like, he's a lying sack of shit. It's probably on his person. I'll be on my way. Thank you. And I back away slowly.
Sure. Well,
reaching-
you were about 10 meters away, I want to say. So
That's all right. Scott, search him first.
I have a feeling they already
Go
Gave him
away,
something of a
come
pat
here,
down.
make up your damn minds.
So they're definitely going to start to approach you, and they are not taking no for an answer for sure. So I guess the choice you have in front of you is, would you like to run into the bar and fight, or would you like to fight them in the alley by yourself?
Yeah, because we haven't walked out yet.
I'm thinking I'm gonna bolt for the bar, and maybe we can head through the back door. And
Sure.
if we have to face them in an alley, it'll be an alley on our terms.
Sure.
And I know my friends don't carry a whole lot of really great weaponry, so it's probably going to fall on me.
I have a scalpel.
You have a monoblade.
Well, I have a scalpel.
So yeah, this will be fun. Shootout in the crowded bar.
I'm hoping it doesn't come to a shootout in the bar.
You are such an optimist.
So naive for a.
I know for
Oh
such
no,
a
I'm fully
experienced
expecting
gamer.
it. I'm just hoping that maybe they don't want the heat that would bring. Are
That's
they?
optimistic of you?
Is it? All right. Well, what sort
You're
of a
like
reputation do they
mid-level,
have?
I mean, they are walking around blatantly in Scorpione's colors, like at the plaza level. So,
So this is their
clearly they're not
territory.
worried. They're not, and you would know obviously that NAPD isn't about to like roll through.
Okay.
We're definitely not in that part of town.
All right. In that case, shit.
I mean, you definitely have your pad. You could signal for help and keep the fight in the alley. You could run. There is a like the train station not too far away, right? Or you could come up with a different option.
All right. So I'm gonna signal my friends via my. I've got a comm link too, so I'll just thumb that and say, find another way out. And I'm
Help! I'm being oppressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much that.
And I'm gonna head towards the train station. I'm heading towards the train station.
You're running toward the train station.
That's where I'm gonna head towards. Yes.
Okay. So the streets aren't overly crowded, but they're crowded enough that the crowd is kind of an issue. So we're gonna do sort of like a chase sequence here. So 10 meters is about short range.
Okay.
So the first thing we're going to do is initiative. So this is going to include my 2 characters in the bar as well.
Ooh, we have 2
So-
characters. Oh, sir.
You.
We're the 2 characters in
That's-
the bar.
That's
I was like,
yeah.
I forgot where we were. It's been a really long day.
So everybody is going to make unopposed completely a cool or vigilance check, your choice.
All right. So I'm gonna go with vigilance, which is not great, but it's a little better than my cool.
My presence is better than, so I'm gonna go with cool.
I'm
Okay.
Jason Statham. I should have more cool.
You should have more cool, but you
Failure
only
to
had so
build.
much. Well,
There
that
aren't
was the
enough
intro.
points on a starting character.
All right,
Fair.
so 2 green for my presents,
All right,
correct?
so and this is just a simple check. We don't actually pick up any difficulty dice, right?
Correct, except I'm going to say that 2 inside the bar can add 1 black because again, it's noisy. They might not hear you correctly.
Now wait a minute.
Scott, what's your cooler vigilance?
Vigilance is 1, willpower is 2.
So you want,
So doesn't he
I
get
guess
a
I got
yellow,
and a green.
a yellow and a green?
or you can go with what's your cool?
Not enough. He's got
Vigilance.
more. He's
No,
got
what's your cool?
his
Oh,
vigilance is better, is what he's telling you.
Okay, because his presence is a 3.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you want what 1 and
1 and 1.
okay, that's where I am.
All right, so
Ha!
It was a caw. It was like a
yeah,
crow
no,
flew
Andrew
into
got
the room.
Andrew got a triumph and 2 successes.
3 successes
Or
total.
3 successes total.
Wow.
I get an advantage, but I have no successes. They canceled out.
So we call that 0.1.
0.1.
Yeah, 0 successes, 1 advantage. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For initiative, it's just easier to order them up. So Andrew, you got what was it, a 3.0 and a triumph?
Yeah.
Wow, this is.
And Scott, what did you get?
2 of one and 1 of the other. I just don't know which.
Um,
Let me see.
Can we give him a little bit of help since I can't
He's
see?
got a threats,
And then 2 successes and 2
advantage.
2 advantage. So,
So he's got
So-
2.1.
2.1.
Yeah. Oh, but now why did
Okay.
you leave them over there?
Because I don't know.
Because now he has to.
So the initiative order is 1 player because of Andrew's role. Then
Them.
both the bad guy minion group and the guy with the gauntlet arm, the 2 of them will get to go next, and then the other 2 of you get last traps. So the
So-
way initiative works in this game, which
We'll
is
go
different
last.
from D20 and some of the other games you might have played, is you only get slots for like your faction, your side. You guys can go in any order you like, whatever you think best strategically benefits the team, right? So in this case, Andrew probably wants to run away first.
Absolutely.
Just because if he doesn't, both of them go and they're going to catch him and do horrible things to him right there in the alley. So, so strategically thinking, it's luckily he rolled highest anyway, but it's probably best for him to go first. But if he had rolled the worst, and somebody still rolled well enough for one of you to go first, he could still take that spot. That's just the way it goes, right? You still only get 1 turn per round, but the slots are just for the faction. So it's kind of like, hey, who wants to go? And as a team, you could strategize. How does it benefit us to have who go when? So
in this case, I definitely need to go first.
sure. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to say that the train station, which is where you're trying to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the train station is you're going to have to run like sort of weave your way through a crowd on the street, and then sort of shove through a denser crowd by the train, and then get up like 2 flights of stairs to the train that's 1 level above you. So it's going to be 3 different checks, but that's the sort of the route you have to take.
Okay.
So this first check is going to be we'll call it an easy coordination check. So easy means 1 purple.
Okay.
And none of this stuff's in the module. This is just us making stuff up based on what you're doing.
What?
So-
We're making stuff up like it's
Alright.
a game? Roll some dice.
All right. So I'm rolling dice. I get 3 green and a purple. Now that triumph, that doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. At
So
this point,
how
does
would
it?
you like to spend that time? It sure can, if you'd like it to. Do you have any ideas of maybe you took off running so
I'm
quick
thinking-
they were kind of taken aback?
I'm thinking maybe it's a rainy day and there are a lot of people in trench coats.
Sure. I'm okay with that. That sounds great to me. So if you roll, I'm going to say on this roll, if you roll well enough, they may actually lose sight of you. If you get enough like advantage or another
Right.
triumph or something like that.
Well, I can't get any triumphs.
Do you want to flip to upgrade? Because then you could.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because,
But you can't flip it that way.
Oh, you're right. I flipped the wrong one.
Cheater.
Oh, don't cheat me of my story points.
Not
I can't even
intentionally.
see them to keep you guys honest.
Well, there was no triumph.
Well, but that's okay because it's 2 successes. Just a flat
Okay,
2
so you
successes.
rolled 2 successes. All right. Because this
What
is
about
a chase,
the
we're gonna.
advantages? Oh, you don't get the advantage.
The advantage goes away because the 2.
Oh, I
Threat.
see the purple. I see.
Got some
Sorry.
threat and cancels. It's fine. Okay, so you took off running. You ran really fast. Sort of weaved your way through the crowd. Your like android brain is able to kind of like chart the optimal path, right? Unfortunately, these guys get to follow you and follow the optimal path, right? So Mason Ruiz, the guy with the cyborg arm, he's going to try to go first.
Okay.
What are they? I said it was easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to actually give him a setback because of he might be confused about which person he's trying to follow, right?
Okay.
So he's going to get a setback thrown in there because of that triumph you spent earlier. Unfortunately, that die came up blank. And, oh, man, I'm so sorry, guys. I always roll so well when I'm GMing.
That's all right.
So does Andrew.
It's
So
true.
he rolled 1 success and 3 advantage. So with that success, he is behind you because you got more successes.
Thank goodness.
But you're still ahead of him. He is not like caught up to you, right? He hasn't overtaken you or anything like that. But he did get 3 advantage. So I'm going to
Apparently
say
they all recognized him and got out of his way.
while you do have a trench coat on, it is a vastly different color than everyone else's. And then the hit team is running after him, so they are also going to give this a try here. But I will give them a setback as well. Oh, man. Oh, darn. Oh,
We're going to
man.
miss your character when he's dead.
So,
Well, that was
the hit
fast.
of 3 low Scorpions, they also rolled 3 successes. So they're able to keep pace with you. Now, you had a 10-meter head start. So I'm going to say that they are still behind you, but you haven't pulled ahead of them in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the interval has remained the same. So that's the first part of this 3-round chase scene. So my people in the bar, either one of you can go, what's the plan? What do you want to do? Certainly Andrew could have shared that he's running for the train.
Well, I'm imagining that our characters are sitting in the bar still we've just handed off the memory chip in time to look out the window to see everybody go running by.
He's smart enough to tell him to come back in and talk to us, right?
You think so, but I don't know. But was it everybody who left? I mean, did we? Well, we only knew there were 2, so we saw how many run by?
Yeah, there were actually 3 Los Scorpiones hitmen, and then the guy with the big gauntlet.
Okay.
You didn't see Simon Leander run past.
Do we want to go check on him, or do we want to?
Let's do that.
Okay, so we go back and walk out to the alley. Because obviously,
this is actually working out pretty nicely.
Because obviously Eli's got this all figured out.
Sure, it's 1 on 4 seems fair.
Well, if there's going to be 1 on 4, at least it's me. Although in a foot race, I'd rather it was Scott.
Yeah, he's got all this.
Oh, true, right?
Yeah, he's got like parkour.
Does he have like the free running stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got parkour,
agility 3, enhanced reflexes.
Well, he doesn't have to be in a rush. He can catch up at any time, it sounds like.
Yeah.
And I got a car.
Like, do you have your car here?
Actually, he doesn't currently have a car because I couldn't afford one.
Oh.
So I don't know how
you
that
have
works.
a scooter.
Taking public transit, buddy. Have a train car.
You have a
what you
bike.
got.
So you probably steal cars every so often. Yeah, things like that.
I have a car when someone
You've got
else doesn't need
skullduggery,
it.
so you're good on
Whether
that.
they know it or not.
What are you marking here?
I realized earlier that I had forgotten to mark his booster perception for his cybernetic eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
So, both of you are going to the alley, or
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, obviously, there's something afoot.
totally fine. So, you guys round the alley, and Leander is on the ground and very still. And as you approach with your medical training, you can tell this is a dead person.
Oh,
His
wow.
neck was clearly crushed to the point where that nod, blaming you guys, was the last act of his life, which was somehow fitting.
I kick him. Just kidding. I don't know he did that.
Can I speak with dead?
I'm not a cleric in this one. I'm just a doctor.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a
A
doctor,
not a cleric.
That's a different Genesis setting.
We could play that next. So, is there anything you want to do while you are while you're there?
Actually, I
Staring
want to
at
see
the
if he
bed
has anything else on
him
his.
down.
Yeah, make sure he didn't leave anything else good not in my pocket.
Sure. So, searching Leander's body reveals a fake SEA, Space Elevator Authority, ID badge that identifies him as Systems Analyst First Class Borgman Jones, which he doesn't look like a Borgman. You know that. And also an encrypted comms device. Encrypted comms devices are pretty rare in this setting. Most people just communicate using their pad. So to be using one, Leander must not wanted anyone listening in on his communications.
Huh. I guess we should head. Go ahead.
The ID badge is obviously fake. Seeing if there's anything else you find. There is not. So yeah, those are the only two things of note he has on his person.
So I would say we'll probably leave the ID badge because it's not going to be of any value. I surely don't want to be carrying around something with his face on it in case something bad happens. But the
Something
encrypted,
worse.
yeah, something worse. But the encrypted comm link would be worth having, if for nothing else than
Definitely.
resale value.
Okay.
And then I guess we start
Sure.
heading.
So, well, I mean, that would probably be certainly your turn, right? To get there and examine the body and
Mhm.
search it. Scott, was there anything else you wanted to do? Or you're just kind of hanging with...
He's too dead for me to do anything else, so...
Are you able to start? I guess we also then have a second to. Do we want to go after him to the train station, or?
I don't know why he thought to run. That's stupid.
Well, I know.
Okay.
All right, so
while
we
you
just
guys
make
are
fun of Andrew's
debating
character. We just make fun of Andrew's character for the remainder of our turn.
that, fair enough.
I guess we saunter vaguely trainward.
This
Did
brings us
you-
back to the top of the order.
Did you tell us you were running the train?
Yeah, he
Okay.
messaged us.
Okay,
We know
yeah.
where he's headed.
Okay.
So this brings us back to the top of the order. Any single one of you.
I would like to continue being
So,
first.
Andrew, if
Yeah.
that's fair. I mean, the worst that could happen, unless they roll really well, which could happen, is they could draw even with you, right?
Right.
They could close that 10-meter gap.
I'd like to try to keep that 10-meter gap.
Do you guys want to calm Andrew before your turn's over? Let him know Leander's dead?
No, I bet he knows. I mean, I'm willing to guess that that's what instigated the running.
Fair enough.
I
Okay. So, Andrew, at this point, you need to force your way through a denser crowd of people. That is going to be an athletics check. And I'm going to need an average athletics check, which is
That's
2 purples.
brawn?
Yes.
Okay. Got 3 of that, too.
You got your 2 purple.
I've got my 2 purple.
All right.
I'm going to say it is raining, so people are going to be particularly upset if you're also shoving them trying to get ahead of them onto the train. So why don't you take a black die for that?
All right, but you know what? It's slick out, and I've got momentum on my side, so some of them might slide to the side easier.
Yeah, take a blue for that. That sounds good.
That's not a bad roll.
Okay.
So that's 2 threat, but those cancel out my 2 advantage, which just leaves me with 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
But yeah, I did definitely piss somebody off because one of my threat came from that black die.
So for that threat, you're actually, why don't you take a point of strain for me? Suffer a point of strain.
Well, that was a canceled threat. That was a canceled threat.
Oh, it was canceled.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to do anything. Then you have to do nothing, sir. Okay, so you are able to shove your way through this crowd and make it to the base of the stairs to get up where the train is. You are perfectly able. So following you, the Los Scorpiones hit team is closest, so we'll let them go first. Lucky for you, they don't have the skill.
Neither did I.
Oh, and they roll some blanks. That's a bad roll for a change. So all they get is 2 threat. I'm going to say that the 2 threat sort of stymies them. They can't move their way through the crowd as a group.
Well, that's because Andrew just pissed them all those people off, and they're just now getting themselves back together.
That effing
100%.
God, where do you think you're going?
Not you too.
So, Los Scorpiones, they're not defeated or anything, but they are out of the race. They are going to be unable to catch you for sure.
Okay.
They have been left behind. So they failed the check. Or actually, it's 2 threats. So I'm going to say 2 of them left behind. One of them's still going to try, but one little mook one minion isn't that powerful anyway. And then we have the guy with the giant cybernetic arm thing, gauntlet. And this is probably going to be nasty.
So Thanos is after you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to snap. He just snapped one guy's neck, right?
Hellboy.
And we said a black and a blue, right?
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to give him 2 blacks because, as we said, the crowd was a little angrier now that you had already shoved your way through. So I'm going to cancel some stuff out here. 3 success.
Oh.
That's it. Everything else cancels. So you only got 2 success.
Right.
So what this means is that he is able to well, he fell behind last time, so he's able to make up for the space that he fell behind, and he makes it. He's just like a few steps behind you, right? Like maybe 3 steps. You hear him coming, so he's right at your heels. He pushed through his own guys, and you guys are both kind of. You're like you already have a hand on the railing and a foot on the stairs, and he's like 3 more steps back, right? So let's go back to our other 2 characters. What would you guys like to do? Either one of you can go.
What's traffic like?
Is there a car left running handily by?
So at the plaza level where you guys happen to be at, this sort of sidewalk and street isn't necessarily that big in this section. It's basically just a pedway for walkers and like cyclists or whatever. But the cars are like hover cars. They're like air cars at this level. Okay. And yeah, there's like a few like taxis dropping people off or whatever. There's also the building exterior, which someone with your climbing skills, you can maybe cut down some time and parkour yourself up 1 level, possibly. Or you could,
great for you.
or you could give chase the same way everyone else had to give chase.
Well, he said he was going to the train station, but obviously he's going to get on the train. But I don't know where he would.
Right. I mean,
Well, there's just one train station nearby.
What if we just catch a cab?
I know. Well,
I'm stand out a bit right now to be stealing a car.
That's true. So we'll hail a cab and go down to the next train station. To go, because in theory he will get on the train and go to the next stop. Sure.
No, this sounds like a brilliant plan. I don't see what could possibly go wrong.
Oh, no, me either.
So I guess somebody's going to have to attempt to hail a cab quickly.
Oh, I got
there
that.
There are other people attempting to hail a cab, so you're going to have to find a way to jump in line and make the cab come to you. So I don't care which of you makes the check, but one of you is going to have to make some kind of social check to get the first cab.
I'll do a charm.
Do you have
Okay.
charm?
Presence 3,
So you're going
charm
to show
1.
a little leg,
Uh,
wink at the first taxi
Well,
you
that's
see.
what I was gonna say. For somebody who has modified appearance, I'm not very.
You got six ranks to put places.
I know.
So who's making the check
Scott.
and what is it?
I'm doing it. It's,
Scott,
two,
what difficulty you want it to be?
Well, let's assemble his pool first, real quick. Well, how many? What you said? Charm.
Yeah.
So what is your ranks in charm?
1.
So that's 1, and then what is your presence? I think that's what's
3.
associated. 3. So the two numbers are 1 and 3. So the bigger number 3 is how many greens you get, and the smaller number 1 is how many greens turn yellow.
Yep. I got 2 successes, 2 advantage.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
but you
you're gonna have
haven't.
to roll
But
against
you
the
haven't
bad
rolled the
stuff.
bad guys. The
Oh,
bad
So
stuff.
get your bad stuff.
Yeah,
at
you
you.
have to put
But
your.
how much
Well,
bad
hold
stuff?
on.
We gotta find out how
You
much.
still
though.
have to. You still have to figure out the rest of your pool.
Yeah,
So
we
hang on to
still
those.
have to-
Yeah,
Hang
you can
on to
keep
those.
those,
Okay.
but you're not done yet.
What?
You are not
dumb.
So
No.
how many purple?
So I'm going to say average 2 purple,
Okay.
Okay.
and I'm also going to say since there are like 3 people right there are also trying to hail a cab.
Oh wait, you're
What?
cutting out.
You
What?
cut out. What was that?
3 people trying to hail a cab. Something.
2 black dice. Am I back?
Yes.
Okay. So just add 2 black dice.
So-
That's to represent the other people also trying to hail a cab.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
we can hear
can.
you.
We're trying
So
to do
okay,
math.
So he threw his whole thing. So those all canceled each other out. He's got 1 threat.
So he just has a threat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. So a cab zips right past you and picks up the person at the end of the line, not you.
Sweet.
Or at least that's clearly who they're attempting to pick up, unless you'd like to do something more drastic.
So I would like to. I have society. I'd like to kind of throw around the some higher society attitude, kind of like
So
to like
sounds like coercion.
yeah, to what coercion?
It sounds like a coercion check
Yeah.
to me. Yeah.
Kind of. I was
You're
thinking
trying to
my
bully
knowledge.
this person out
Yeah.
of their taxi.
That's like you know who all the people are.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to do coercion because I don't want to use. I would like to do charm. I'd like to charm the person into letting us have the cab. The person who currently looks like they're going to be picked up, because I have more charm than coercion.
What's your approach? What are you saying?
Well, I'm already dressed up, and I go up to him. And I have a little bit of fame. I introduce myself. I'm Dr. Weiss, and I've just received word that there's an emergency at my
Hand me the Android book. real
at
quick.
my clinic that I need to get to. I really apologize, but may I have your cab?
So this sounds like deception to me, not charm.
Okay, that works too.
I'm not saying it's a bad plan. Just that
Oh,
it sounds
she's
like
being nice about it.
Well, I still have too cunning. I have nothing in the way of any of that other stuff. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't end up with having to make a willpower check.
Okay. So you want to stick with that story? That's what you're going to do?
I
What?
want to real quick before we do that. I want to check something for Monica.
Oh, okay.
Because
Apparently,
she's got her.
I've got like leadership,
Well, no, you've got your
Oh, okay.
your Gmod,
right?
and it does something on social challenges.
Well, I thought that you had that marked on here, but
You may suffer 1 strain before making a charm or leadership check. Okay, never mind.
To do what?
To add a
Just find out.
success to the result.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Actually,
And
it
then
says here
actually-
once per session,
and
the
then-
character uses her Gmod to modify a check. You may spend a story point to add a success equal to the ranks in resilience.
Right. So
That sounds okay.
so she could flip a story point and add a second success to it as well.
If she was making a charm check, right?
Right. But that doesn't
Which
apply
she was
because
not.
it's not.
Right.
But
So-
that's worth
Unless
keeping
you
in
could,
mind.
unless you could come up with a more charming thing to say.
Or just walk up and say, we're really in a hurry. We'd like your cab. Can you please? And then bat your eyelashes.
Well, actually, even if I just distract them long enough for Cash to get in the cab and then slip in.
I like this. So you're gonna just flirt.
I'm just going to
shamelessly
flirt
instead.
shamelessly until Cash gets in the cab, and then I follow and,
It works.
So
dazzle them with my
Uh,
charm.
yeah, let's just see
All right, so what
a
are we-
charm check against 2 purple.
Okay. So
You're in the
2
rain. It's all very
purple, 2
romantic.
green.
2 green.
Okay.
Are you gonna suffer a strain to get the automatic success, or whatever the bigger ability was?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
So that's just one
Okay.
automatic success. I wouldn't flip the story point just yet.
Why?
Hmm?
Why?
Well, because it would just get you 2 successes.
Oh, okay.
I'm not certain it's worth it at the moment.
Trying to think.
He's already got 4 on his side of the board.
That's true. It's
But if you want to
Kind
flip one
of-
to upgrade your die, that might be worth it.
I'm trying to think if there's any way to get any more advantage out of this. I mean, it's. I don't know. You.
I
didn't-
wouldn't overthink it.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
would
was.
just go
Yeah,
on it.
that's kind of where I'm at. Oh shit! No, and a threat and a failure, but then 1 success, so
So
it cancels
So
out.
as you tap
success
this
isn't a
person on
threat.
the shoulder, they turn around. It is an actual doctor, and
I'm an actual
they,
doctor.
they actually just got an emergency medical call to to their place. So
Do I recognize this doctor? Where they're
no, this is like
okay.
a pretty normal surgeon. This isn't
This
I
is
was
an
hoping-
somebody in the
allergist.
I was hoping we could share the cab.
not with the threat.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not with the threat. So that person gets in, looks at you weirdly, and speeds off. So that's kind of the end of your turn, I would
Okay.
say. So we're going to go back to the top of the order. Andrew,
Okay.
we're
and now
trying to get up these stairs.
I'm jumping a turnstile and heading up the stairs, huh? Or is it just
That's
up
what
the
it-
stairs now?
It'd be up the stairs through the turnstile, the whole thing. Except at this point, I would say your gears are creaking. You're getting tired. This leg of the race is going to be a resilience check to make it up these stairs
Of course
without
it is.
blowing a leg servo or something. So it's going to be a hard resilience check.
Ooh.
3 purple.
And resilience falls under brawn, which
Can
is
he
at
pull a
least-
hammy?
I don't think so.
Sadly, apparently I can. I think I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this. I can't come up
Sure.
with it. I wasn't able to come up with anything clever to say.
Really?
Okay.
Well,
No failures. So I got
That's
1
good.
success and 3 advantage.
I thought it was about to turn to that scene from History of the World Part 1.
I was having a moment.
No, 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 yes.
So 1 success, 3 advantage. That's what I heard.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to roll the Mason Ruiz, the guy with the gauntlet, who's like almost caught back up to you, and see what he does. Lucky for you, this is not his very best.
It's a good thing we didn't.
Unless with those advantage, would you have wanted to say anything or do anything that might slow him down and make it harder for him? Maybe you knocked a trash
You know
can
what I'm
over.
gonna
Maybe
do?
you alerted a security guard. Maybe anything you could come up with.
Yeah, let's do that. As I go through, I'll knock over one of the trash cans and like toss that in his way. Or if there's
Okay.
like somebody, it's a train. If there's somebody coming through with baggage, knock their luggage over or something. Just put something
Sure.
in his whatever is to hand in his path.
See, you had 3 advantage. You could spend those to give him 3 black dice.
Yeah, let's do that.
Boom. They're
so
there.
I'll like knock that over.
Of course, there's something else you could spend this advantage on if you'd prefer. There could be a train just opening its doors as you get up there.
Yeah, let's go that route. We'll do one. We'll do
Ooh, how
one.
very
We'll do one
cinematic.
on the one disadvantage.
Okay.
For the trash can and
The other 2 for like. Actually, maybe it's that it's
the
getting ready
space
to.
opens up.
It's getting ready to close, and you're going to be able to make it, but he won't if you. That you time it that way.
Well, we'll see how he rolls.
We'll see
right?
how he
But,
rolls. That's what
if you want to spend your advantage, you can't give him anything. But if you want to spend your advantage to be like on a train whose doors are closing, you could spend 3 advantage.
Oh, well, let's do that then.
3 advantage is like a lot.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's
Okay.
much better than throwing stuff in his way. I want to be on the train. That was the
You
whole
are
plan
on a
in the
train.
first place.
I'm on a
You
boat.
turn around, you're facing the doors. They're just starting to close, and let's see what happens with this guy. Can you flip? I'm going to upgrade him.
Oh
I
wow,
really
we're
want-
gonna get one back! Yay!
I really want him to beat you up on the train. I think it'll be fun.
I think that'll be great. Wait.
No triumph, sadly, but oh wow.
Oh, that can't be good.
No, I think it's a complete wash. So he fails because you need at least 1 success to succeed. So he runs up to the door, and the train that slams like right in his face, like right as he's about to like try to stick his gauntlet in to hold the train, and then the train takes off.
And
So
is
you
it-
have successfully outrun this guy and made it onto the train.
with my last little bit of my advantage, can I mouth to him? I don't have it.
No, you should just give him a "milady."
Yeah.
No, don't taunt the big happy ball again.
He'll be back
Yes,
again
you definitely
anyways.
mouth that. Of course, you can. Unfortunately, all you get in return is a "you're dead" mouth back at you. But that's fine. That's fine.
It's like
He
watching
looks
wrestlers.
very angry as the train shoots off toward the next stop. Which pick a direction, east or west.
East.
Cool. It's actually headed to the. Which district is that?
Mm. You have the map. We don't. Oh, well, we do.
You
but
do actually. I
we
sent it to you.
do, but
Yeah.
we
and
do. But
it's over there too.
I know, but there's not really room.
So
to open
you are
books.
headed to the. Does that one just not have a label? The Chicana district. Just FYI. You're headed
Okay.
in that direction. You're not necessarily out of Bay State Cayambe yet. But
Okay.
Chicana district, just to give you. Maybe I can't. It doesn't have a spot. All right. Whatever. You're going to a different place. It's exciting.
Yay.
Does it not have a heading? Oh, there it is. It's you're going deeper into the mountains, toward the mountains, and toward the space elevator, as it were.
Where's the map in here?
I will radio that to you guys.
Okay. Well, once we get that, we'll know when we finally get a cab which direction to go.
Well, certainly now that we're sort of out of this combat situation,
A bunch
You're
of cabs
able
show
to-
up.
totally. Like the cab need gets filled. Somebody clicked it on their pad, and whatever.
Uber's
New
been
Angeles
redirected. Uber
They,
realizes this is a hot spot.
but you're definitely going to get surge charged on it. But
All right, so
but yeah, so you guys get in the cab. You're able to meet at the other train station. Do you guys have somewhere you want to go? Do you want to keep the cab and just go somewhere else?
yeah, we can just pick him up.
Okay.
We definitely do not want to go anywhere that they know that I associate with, because they would have seen me with him in the bar. No, not necessarily.
Maybe, possibly, but
Yeah, that would be my concern.
it's certainly a possibility, but it's far from confirmed, I would say.
Okay.
So you guys are going to probably want to go somewhere. What's the goal here? What do we want to do?
Well,
we gotta figure out what's on this.
Yeah, I
thing.
want to see what's on this memory chip, but obviously we don't want to do it in a super super public space.
And I don't even know we have a chip. I'm thinking that.
Well, we can't tell you that. Well, we can't tell you that via text or in the taxi, because we don't want the taxi driver or any radio people to pick that. Anyone might be watching.
So
Communications.
why don't we just find another favorite restaurant dive and settle in? Rosie's down on 32.
Okay. We can do that.
So you guys going into another spot. Do you guys have money listed, credits?
Yes,
Actually,
we
we
have
do.
lots.
Cool. Lose. First of all, you haven't lost any just yet because you sure didn't pay your bar tab. That's gonna make going back in there later.
We totally ditched that. But they
So
know
that's
us.
going to be great next time you see that bartender, hopefully by the end of the adventure. But you are going to owe this taxi. Somebody's going to owe it like 10 credits, I'm going to say.
Oh, that's not a problem.
And Andrew, you're almost certainly getting a ticket for 5 for jumping that turnstile. They definitely took a picture of your face.
All right.
Oh, there they are.
Like the
Where's it-
ticket alert's going to show up in your inbox, but you have
Where's
like a
it
month to pay it. So whatever.
Oh man, you know what? I thought I paid all of the.
This game will be over way before a month.
I thought I paid all of the. I thought I went on and paid all of the Chicago tolls, and apparently I did not access it correctly. And
Well, they'll get you.
they $65 for like $4 worth of, and I had already paid it. I should have contested it, but I was just like, whatever. I don't want to have my license
Well, Andrew
suspended.
feels your pain.
Yeah.
Eli, the turnstile jumper.
I will actually pull out my pad
Oh,
and
there it
pay it
is.
before I hit the stop.
Fair enough. Get that paid. You certainly don't want to get pulled over and have that ticket come up outstanding.
Well, I don't
Alright.
want somebody to take a real close look at it and be like, wait a minute.
What?
Why is there a Floyd model jumping a turnstile?
Fair enough. Also important. I would agree. Okay. So you guys are in another bar. You're able to sort of talk quietly and catch up. So everybody knows
reintroduce
everything.
ourselves.
Does anybody want to withhold any information, or do you want to share everything you know so far?
I don't see any reason to withhold anything.
Sometimes
So,
it's just fun.
So did you kill him?
no, I just dodged him. He had killing on the mind, though. That's why.
Armit Leander.
Oh, no. The big guy. He had a power gauntlet and squeezed the life out of him.
Okay.
And he was looking to squeeze the life out of us.
Why didn't you just bring him back into the bar?
Because they weren't in a talking mood. And we didn't have what they wanted.
Oh, actually, I think we might. I don't know. He came in and he put something in my pocket. He
course he
totally
did.
set me up.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. He got what he deserved. Just-
That's
But-
my line.
That's so mean.
I know. I'm not a very nice person. You should see my bedside manner. So,
Fair enough.
But how would we watch
he didn't
this
have a
with
pad
him?
on him, did he?
No, you guys searched the body. If you
Okay.
Okay.
remember, there was the
Yeah.
what did he have? It's encrypted comlink and
Stupid badge.
the
The badge.
badge.
We don't need no stinking badge. So,
That's fair.
do we have a way that we can watch this without to watch it
Anything can be
unmonitored?
done. Anything could be done and attempted. There is no
Okay.
limitation on that. What are your concerns?
Well, I don't want it to be like broadcast in any way.
I get up and go to the bar.
So certainly as a courier, sometimes a data courier, Scott, your character is probably aware of places where there's some runners or places where you could check the chip or the comlink and figure out like who he's been talking to on it. Or if one of you has enough computer skill, there's certainly. Does anybody have like at least 1 or 2 ranks in computers?
I have a rank in hacking.
Yeah, that would be the one. Yeah.
No.
What's your intellect?
3.
Oh, so yeah. I mean, you're good enough to do it. You know, you probably could. You would just need the right facilities to get into the comms device for sure. So you guys actually ducked off the street and into the Happy Panda Noodle Bar.
Sure.
Inside the brightly lit chain restaurant, the proprietor dishes up steaming bowls of what charitably could be considered ramen, and then, seeing your faces, moves down the bar to give you some privacy. Does anybody have knowledge the net?
No.
No.
Does anybody just have a high intellect?
Yes.
That would be Monica.
Who's got a high one?
I have a 5.
Wow, first of all.
That's where all her points went.
Yeah, that's why I don't have anything else.
Well, this is your moment to shine. I need an average knowledge the net check, so 2 purples.
The net. The net.
Here goes reverse ninja. Yep.
It's not too bad.
What is it that?
Those are just threat.
Yeah, but they cancel out, don't they?
Well, they can't. Yeah, but
So I have a success and an advantage still.
Okay. So with your success, you're able to take this mem chip and plug it in. It looks harmless enough, so you plug it into your pad just to look at the file structure, not to do anything with it or download anything or anything like that.
Go offline first.
Sure.
Well,
You
yeah.
could have taken out the transponder or whatever it is.
put it in airplane mode.
Put it in airplane mode.
Sure, totally. Space elevator mode.
There you go.
So you could tell right away that the program was created by the Space Elevator Authority. There's this giant program on there. It's filled to the electronic brim with a very large and very complicated executable program of some sort. And the program was made by the Space Elevator Authority, and it does something with it runs on the Space Elevator Authority systems. So it's something to do that controls the space elevator or some aspect of the space elevator.
This can't be good.
So nothing further, though, you also know nothing further can really be discovered by looking at the program. If you want to learn more, you're going to have to access the Space Elevator Authority's internal system server and look up information there to cross-reference or something. Unfortunately, their internal systems aren't linked to the wider network because they don't want the elevator to get hacked, right? This means that if you want to learn more about this, you would have to find access to an SEA corporate building and get on one of their internal computers. So that's what's going on with the chip.
If only we had saved that badge.
If only. Does anybody want to do anything with the comlink? That would require a computer's hacking check.
But let me go ahead and try that.
So you want to try to unlock
Unless you want
the
to try it,
encryption
because you've got 5 dice.
Yeah, go ahead and
Is
try
there a
it.
way to help?
You guys can do something called a combined check.
Okay.
And for a combined check, you use, in this case, we would use the person with the higher intellect, we would use their intellect, which in this case is 5. And then the other person, we would use their ranks in computer hacking.
Okay.
which in this case is 1, right?
Yep.
Correct.
So it would be 4 greens and a yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only against 2 purples.
So I'll let you do that.
All right.
But because you guys are, Monica's character is now doing 2 things, I'm going to say you are staying long enough where you have to buy some food. This guy's going to throw you all out.
Oh, I
Right.
thought
So
we already
are-
bought food, but okay.
Oh, are you? No, you. The only thing you've paid for so far is the taxi ride and the ticket.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I didn't.
I'll buy a round of food for my people.
All right, spend at least 15 credits, unless you really like them. If you spend more, maybe I'll give you a blue to everybody's next check.
All right. Well, I'll spend 20.
Okay. So you get a hearty helping of community style noodles, and everybody gets to fill their belly. Everybody,
Now, I
your
don't-
next check, just the next one check, you get to add a blue dice.
So do
to
I
it.
get to add my blue dice now?
You totally can add it now.
Now I don't eat. Do I? I mean, I don't.
So you
I
eat
don't have
twice?
to. Can I?
No, but you are so happy to be amongst friends and see them feeling happy that
Okay.
you could still benefit.
I have a triumph.
And I think you can eat. You just have no need to.
That cancels
A
out.
triumph is good.
I have a triumph, 3 successes, and 1 advantage.
Wow.
That blue die really came in handy.
I did really. I had a success and an advantage rolling up on it.
So here's what you're able to do. You can see that Leander was communicating with a single person several times a day, and you're able to clone the comms device so that any new messages coming over that encrypted comm device goes directly to one of your pads if you want it to,
Okay.
or you could just unlock the encrypted comm and keep the encrypted comm if you want as well. Because you got that triumph, I'm going to go ahead and say that on this comm, like in the memory, you notice there's a weird, odd file, and it is the fake ID badge file. So if you want, you can take a look at that.
Like it's a file to print it again.
Yeah, like you could see it on your pad. You could like look at the image files.
But they
Like-
were, but it was clearly fake. I mean, does this
Yes.
one look?
The badge is obviously fake. Yes.
How the
Now,
heck-
granted, like if you print it on something nicer, maybe it's a little more passable. But if you want to analyze it, that's going to require a hard skullduggery check.
I'll tell
Does
you.
anybody have skullduggery?
I've got
Your
skullduggery.
courier might.
Courier does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you want to take a look at
you
these
get a
badge
blue one.
files on your pad and see if you could learn something about it?
Would this be intellect or would this be
It's cunning.
cunning?
Skullduggery goes with cunning usually. Yeah.
And I guess it looks like we've all got 2 cunning. So yeah, I can do it.
Okay.
Need a green and a yellow.
So it's hard, which is against 3 purples. And also, since you don't have the physical badge, you're actually looking at digital files. I'm going to give you a black die, a setback as well.
But you do get your blue
But
for
you
your
do
food.
get your blue for your food.
You do. Full belly.
That's a whole lot of
Hmm,
threat showing over there.
Yeah.
Fun.
Useless.
Yeah.
Useless.
What is that?
That's 4 threat showing.
Or angry circles.
So that's 3
No, it's
threat
actually
'cause you
3.
got that advantage.
Yeah. So it's three threat. No
3
success.
threat, no successes.
Is that a success?
No, because
Oh,
it
that
cancels out the failure.
So 3 threat.
So, first of all, you're not able to tell much here.
It's fake.
It's definitely fake. Yes.
Thank you.
But
Captain
you can't really
Obvious.
tell. You can't really tell like who made it.
I
Kind
don't,
of hoping like
I don't know what else
be
you're
able to
looking
tell.
for.
You can't really tell like what kind of space elevator authority access it might have granted. So you just can't really tell anything looking at it. With those 3 threat, I feel like I want you to know something wrong. But I'm going to spare you that fate, I guess. So,
This pass is totally legit.
Cash, that is the worst fake badge I've ever seen.
It looks better in digital.
It looks better in
Clearly.
digital.
so do you guys?
I have a question for you, Keith.
Sure.
So I've got a little streetwise.
Mhm.
Would I know somebody, like maybe I busted somebody that forged things?
Yeah, you might also be able to call in a favor with the MHP or something.
Yeah, I do have years on the force.
It's up to you. If you're going to try to make a check, it would also be hard. I'll let you get away with it once, I guess. But if you use the favor, that works for sure. But if you fail the check, then you guys aren't going to get the extra piece of information.
Well, I was thinking if I knew somebody who could do, I just want to find a forger.
Yeah, this sounds like a favor. You're getting somebody to do something for you.
Well, I just want to track somebody down because I have some questions. Because I also have bought info.
Okay. What is the text of that? Can you read that for me again?
It is
Actually-
in the Genesis core.
I
Oh,
need
you
to
did.
take a break here soon.
Genesis.
Oh, Genesis.
Oh, do we need a
I do.
like a potty and a drink break?
Yeah.
Yes.
We could do that
right,
while
let's
I
do-
look up this talent.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Monica Marlowe. This is Andrew Marlowe. That's Scott, and Keith is on remote. We will be back in about 10 minutes if you're watching us live, and otherwise, we'll see you in the next episode of Friday Night Hangouts. Marlowe House presents. Yay! And we'll have our announcement at the end of
Yes.
the other one.